Hey, what is up, everybody? Ross Cessna from Spiritual Phoenix Studios here. Just wanted to bring you a really quick Oracle card reading, touch base with you, and kind of see what's up. So let's get it going. This is a Mystic Art Medicine deck. Rebirth is the first one that comes up. Pretty straightforward. We're going to break down some of the colors, though, just for fun. So you got yellow in the sun there. Yellow is associated with navel chakra, self-confidence, kind of willpower, courage, all of that good stuff. And those are definitely key components of rebirth. Then you have some of the purple there. That's kind of like crown chakra, spiritual connection type energy. You got the orange down there. Sacral chakra, that would be sexual energy and creativity. And I honestly think that a lot of us have to access our creativity more to have richer and fuller lives. And that's one of the fun things about doing something like this. When you start to play around with like the artwork on the card and really draw things off of it and pull it up, there's so much medicine in that for your mind because it gets you out of analytical processing and moves you into more of the creative flow of everything. And it's pretty awesome. The interesting thing about this too is if you look at the energy of self-confidence in combination with creativity, and you see all of these spirals kind of emanating out from it, that really is kind of like the ingredients for like a big shift. And when you make that one centralized shift of having confidence in kind of your own creative process, the way that that impacts every facet of your life is ridiculous. And then the way that that will actually have an impact on the world is profound too, right? I was listening to a speaker the other day, and they were talking about how a lot of us want to change the world, and we think that we have to do these big things. And then he went into the statistic, like the average person meets 10,000 people in their lives. And then he broke it down even smaller and said, like, even if you only impact 10 people, and those 10 people impact 10 people, like that effect over a period of like 100 years or 150 years or whatever would be ridiculous. So that's one of the biggest things that we have to do, and especially kind of with everything that's going on globally. I was saying this before everything happened, but I think it's even more important now, is position ourselves to follow our hearts and like live and work in what we're passionate about and kind of get out of the corporate rat race, right? Like this is kind of a good time for repositioning and shifting and pivoting. And that's really the energy of this too. And with this being a Hierophant year, which is about tradition and belief, or the reverse meaning of it is following your heart, it's really a time to look deep into what you believe and how you feel and like how you're relating to the world. And additionally, see if you actually love what you do, or you love, like, how do I want to put this? You love the mask that what you do offers. And that can be fine too, right? Like there's no judgment there. I'm just saying, but loving what you do is different than the other. And it really does bring up this quote from Carlos Castaneda. I'm going to butcher it. But it's like a path with heart is easy. It doesn't make you work at it. Actually, I think that's pretty much it, right? So we'll just leave it there. But like if you're doing what you love, it's not going to be incredibly challenging, no matter how challenging it physically is. Next card that comes up is forgiveness. This is another area that I think many people struggle with, is forgiveness for other people and then forgiveness for themselves. Like I notice in a lot of different groups that there's a lot of different hexings and things that go on. And I know that there's a lot of heinous shit that people do. Like I will never discredit that, and I can never like spiritually bypass that, or having directly experienced any of those things. I can't understand how they have to process it. So I'm definitely not speaking in that. I have no place. So completely remove what I say from those arguments, right? But in terms of forgiveness, I find that it's more so for me, like forgiving the other person, because it frees me up of that energy, right? And it's not doing it because it's something that I have to. It's doing it because there is a quote, and it's been attributed to Buddha. Who knows if that's actually legitimate, but it's anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Carrying around resentment is definitely the same energy, and forgiveness offers you a gift as well. And there's this additional concept of when we don't forgive, we're burning a bridge that we too must cross. And I think that that's important to remember as well, right? Like if we're not able to offer forgiveness to other people, even for like little minor things, like especially the minor things, the bigger things, like I'll let people sort out their own meaning on that. And this whole conversation is completely devoid of that. But the small things that we kind of carry resentment and anger towards, this goes for me especially too, right? Those are the things that will poison or stain our day, like in a big way. And when we're able to like allow people to be people and make mistakes, that's life-changing because it allows us to be people and make mistakes. And then there's this like positive circle of influence, and it feeds into the whole rebirth cycle of all of that too, right? I'm going to draw one more card, and then I'm just going to go. Perseverance comes up. I really feel like I talk about this a lot. Maybe I don't. But this is just kind of staying consistent and doing what you do, even though you might not see the results, right? I think that so much of personal growth or spiritual growth is predicated on the concept of that Indiana Jones moment where you step out on the invisible bridge, and it's not just once, it's like a consistent thing where you have to be like, there's no evidence that what I'm doing is actually having the impact that I would like it to, but then you have to understand that maybe this is the whole process that you have to get through to get to the impact that you'd like to have. Perseverance is a skill. That's the easiest way to put it. It's something that you can cultivate. Like some people are naturally more aligned with it, but I do think that perseverance is something that you work at, and it's like a muscle that you flex by actively using it. And we actively use it when we're facing challenges and when we continue to move forward. And additionally, we actively use it when we're tired, like, and we keep going, or when there's self-doubt and we keep going. And the more that you flex that, the stronger you become. The energetic sources of perseverance is kind of like intent or will or whatever words you want to use, but this like directional force of your life. And that kind of, once you correct the inertia of how society impacts all of us, once you correct that inertia and you align yourself with kind of the magnetic pull of your purpose, perseverance is a natural byproduct. Like it's a channel that your energy can flow through, but you have to open it up by kind of consistently chipping away at it. And once you actually get that aligned and like synced up, then I think that there's a natural process of momentum that takes place that kind of does most of the work for you, right? I used to align my story, or like a lot of my work, with Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill, because I think that that's a really good analogy for what the spiritual journey is like. Consistently pushing the boulder up the hill, but always having it roll back and having to start again the next day. And on a small scale, that really is the case. Like it's consistent effort. But I think that one of the things that the myth might not necessarily look at is if an average person were to do that on a regular basis, there would definitely be some sense of it becoming easy to do because their body would acclimate to the challenge of it. And I think that that's kind of where we get, and we just start pushing the boulder up, not so much because it's trying to push us down, but because that's just what we do. Like it's like we're here anyhow, might as well do it. And that's kind of what I do with my morning routine or my work. Like it's progressively gotten easier the more that I've done everything that I do, because that's life, like, right? We adapt to those circumstances. So if you want to kind of have a new opportunity, forgive yourself for your mistakes, persevere on a regular basis, and align your creativity with self-confidence. And the impact of that can really create a lot of ripples, not only in your personal life, but for the world. And that's how you do your contribution, right? It doesn't have to be any grand thing. It doesn't have to be any major shift. Little things matter more than we know, and little shifts can have big big impacts later. Think of a ship at sea. That one little inch in the way that it's facing can take you to a complete and totally different destination over a long enough timeline. So anyhow, thanks so much for checking this out. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will talk to you again soon. Peace.